When timber is used for structural purposes, it needs to withstand the stress forces acting on it. These forces include bending stresses, such as in a beam that deflects under a load, compressive stresses that tend to crush the fibers in the timber, tensile stresses that tend to lengthen or pull apart the fibers, and shear stresses that have a sliding or shearing action, which tends to split the fibers. The strength of a piece of timber is its ability to withstand these forces without deforming too much. Different timber species have different levels of inherent strength, which is closely related to the density of the wood fibers. That is, how closely the fibers are packed together in a given volume. In general, the heavier the timber is per cubic meter, the stronger it's likely to be. But countering this natural strength are the defects in the board, which act like weak links in a chain. Let's look at the main types of strength-reducing defects that occur in the pines, starting with knots. Knots are branches from the growing tree that have been cut through when the log is resawn. Depending on the angle of the cut, the same knot can look different in a back-sawn board compared to a quarter-sawn board. You can see from these examples that all of the knots are running back towards the pith, because that's where they began their growth in the tree. Knots reduce the strength of a board because they take up space that would otherwise be occupied by the wood fibers running lengthwise. Resin pockets occur when a tree suffers an injury and patches up the damaged area with resin. These pockets are often associated with bark pockets and overgrowths of injury, so in the softwood grading rules they're grouped together and assessed in the same way. The most common types of cracks or fissures in the grain are checks, splits, and shakes. Checks generally result from drying stresses. Splits occur when there is a lengthwise separation of fibers that runs from one surface to another surface. Shakes occur as a result of internal stresses in the tree or log during felling or conversion to sawn timber. Sloping grain refers to a deviation in the direction of the grain, away from a line that runs straight and parallel with the length of the board. The greater the deviation from straight and parallel, the weaker the board will be. Note that in softwoods, it's common for the grain to deviate around knots. As long as this is limited to a local deviation, it doesn't need to be separately assessed, because the grade limitations on the knot size will make allowance for it. Want and wane are caused by different things, but because they have the same effect on a piece of timber, they're both measured and assessed in the same way. Wane is the appearance of the underbark surface of the log, which causes some of the arris to be missing on the piece. Want is the absence of wood from the surface, or arris, when it's caused by anything other than wane, such as forklift damage or abrasions from chains.